Hey everybody, it's Dr. Jared Seigler here with the Living Proof Institute, and tonight I'm talking with Wendy Myers from MyersDetox.com, and she's also host of the Heavy Metals Summit, which is what we're going to kind of talk about a little bit tonight. So,
yes, everyone, thank you so much for joining us on this Facebook Live. If any of you guys have any questions about detoxification whatsoever, don't hesitate to leave a question or a comment down below. Thank you so much for having me.
No, this is, thanks for having me on the summit and everything too. It's a really big undertaking. I know Dr. Klinger interviewed you, so I kind of, what was kind of the topic that you were discussing?
Yeah, so I'm discussing all about how metals cause fatigue and how to detox the metals that cause fatigue. And this is something I'm very passionate about, that I talk about all the time, about how to do a mitochondria detox and certain supplements that you can take to detox metals that cause fatigue, like aluminum, arsenic, tin, thallium, and cesium. And these are metals that essentially interfere in nutrient uptake in the mitochondria. So they poison enzymes that transport nutrients into our mitochondria, and our mitochondria are little cells powerhouses. And if you don't have the nutrients to make energy, it's not going to happen for you. And so you have to detox certain metals that interfere in that energy production process. And I talk about that in detail in my talk on the Heavy Metal Summit.
Good, yeah, and I'm glad. I know that it's going to be covered too. But why do people feel worse like after they start trying to mobilize a lot of things? They're like, oh, I took this and I feel like way worse. And there's always those pitfalls that we have to kind of really keep in mind whenever we're looking at someone as an individual, instead of, well, on paper these are the things that just look good and this is what we need to do.
Yeah, a lot of people have detox symptoms. I mean, it's not surprising when you start taking supplements or substances that mobilize toxins out of storage sites. Those toxins are going to be, in your bloodstream and causing problems, usually exacerbating the very symptoms that people are trying to alleviate when they're seeking to detox or do any type of detox program or protocol, like an infrared sauna. So it's really important to take binders, and we talk about this extensively throughout the summit, and different types of binders that people can take to absorb metals and chemicals that are, mobilized from storage sites or bone or fat or the nervous system when they're doing any type of a detox program. So we talk about binders like modified citrus pectin, activated charcoal, green clay, bentonite clay, and all different types of binders that are on the market today that people can rotate.
Yeah, no, it's funny that you mentioned that. I remember I used to spray lawns with True Green. So I was the guy spraying the lawns with all the chemicals. And I couldn't sit in a sauna or a hot tub. It would be like immediately like nauseous and just not feeling good. But I started taking these binders and I just started itching. And, my wife was like, oh, maybe you should stop. And I'm like, I just want it out of me. Like, I don't even care. Like, I want these chemicals just gone. And, I discussed aluminum in length during the heavy metals, but to me, that's one of like the thing, we've been told it's so safe. And in reality, it's like so not. It's getting worse and worse and worse. They actually found that in that one study, autistic kids had the highest amount of aluminum in the brain of anything ever recorded. And I just read the CDC's new numbers for autism was 1 out of 28 boys now.
Oh, God.
So
it's just heartbreaking.
Yeah, so just in a few years, it's gone from 1 in 44 males to 1 in 28. So we're seeing, I jokingly say, like, I'm not a smart guy, but that's almost double in a few years. It doesn't take a very intelligent person to think, wow, that's a very dramatic increase.
Yeah, and that's why your talk on the Heavy Metal Summit is so important, because aluminum is a big causative factor, and it's neurophilic. The aluminum is deposited in our brain and our nervous system, and dramatically impacts our brain's functioning and processing.
Yeah, exactly. And that's just where I'm so excited about this Heavy Metals Summit. It's going to be coming out very soon. So I always encourage people to register, because a lot of really smart people are talking about things they're very passionate about, because really I think everyone that's gotten into this field, it's really because either they were suffering, the love, like the healthcare of their loved ones was suffering. So there's always that personal story, you know, when you really care about something. I think that's when people find their genius type zone.
Yeah, and I am so passionate about detoxification because my health's impacted. My daughter's health was impacted. She had an autism diagnosis at one point because of extreme aluminum toxicity that she got from vaccines. And when I thought I'd educated myself about vaccines, but I hadn't really, I only scratched the surface and made that mistake. And my father died of esophageal cancer. And that was caused by cadmium toxicity from smoking for 40 years. So it's something I'm very, very passionate about. And if any of you guys have any questions whatsoever, please leave a comment and ask me any of your detox questions. We'll be answering them here live. My daughter, Winter's here. She's homesick with the flu. So you hear her coughing in the background.
Yeah. So
poor thing.
Luckily, we've been able to avoid that one. But yeah, people are just dropping like flies. I'm glad that you mentioned tin too, because like actually I was running a test, and what we found in this one young girl, she's in the theater, but all the stage makeup, that's where we found out she was getting a lot of these metals. So, you know, that's, of course, it's not just what you eat, it's what you put on your skin. Like, and people get amazed. Like I tell women with thyroid issues like Hashimoto's, like that perfume that you're spraying directly over your thyroid, it's like the worst thing you could probably do.
Yep. Yeah. I think perfume's like almost like secondhand smoke. I mean, there's some that just give me a headache. I can't tolerate people that are wearing lots of perfume. It's a petroleum based product that gives you phthalates and these estrogen mimicking toxins in your body.
And isn't that one of the bigger things about people having trouble with detoxification is they're just sensitive to so much stuff. Like I can't eat these foods, I can't smell this stuff, I can't do this, I can't do that, like the chlorine in the clothes.
Oh my God, it's being a little goofball. It's not that sick, I guess.
Yeah, exactly.
So Station's asking a question. So what's the best way to test children for heavy metals? So I like to use hair mineral analysis. And I think it's a very easy, non-invasive way to test for metals. You can also, urine DMSA challenge tests are a little bit more challenging, so to speak, no pun intended. But, you know, some kids can be sensitive to DMSA. So I usually stick with the hair mineral analysis. And that'll give us enough information to get started on a detox program.
Yeah, it's amazing how people vary so much. I say I actually like, well, the 24-hour urine, I love it. And I actually won't do the DSMA. I'll usually try to support glutathione. Because, when we start mobilizing metals, like that's, to me, the worst thing we can do is just try to start blindly chelating something. But I've just found it gentler, like, I'll give them a little bit of glutathione support and have them do like a 24-hour urine catch. And then we can get a pretty good idea of like overall load, how are things clearing. And not to get too technical about all the testing, but I like to do porphyrin testing sometimes as well.
Stop it.
She has a very good sense of humor.
She does.
But that porphyrin testing. Oh, nice. We'll do the porphyrin testing to see can anything even make it in the urine, because we don't want to get what we call a false negative, where, oh, hey, we looked and we didn't see anything, when in reality it just never made it out. So then it's staying accumulated inside of their bodies.
Yes. And, you know, a lot of initial testing that you can do may not show any metals. When there's a lot of metals, they're just stuck in your tissues and your bones and your fat. But when you start taking detox supplements and natural or synthetic chelators or binders, then on subsequent tests, you see more and more toxins come out as people progress on their detox journey. So people have to be very careful about thinking that they're in the clear when their first test doesn't show any metals or very few.
Yeah, I actually, just a young gentleman today, he had the hair mineral analysis, and all of his heavy metals, nothing showed at all. And he's a smart kid though, so he wasn't like, oh, I don't have any. We're just like, that means it's not even getting out. Like you're just keeping everything bunched inside. Yeah, so to me, that's where really knowing how to interpret something and looking at somebody and hearing their history is way better than just like, oh, based off this test, you don't have this problem. And then they just kind of turn and like maybe go the other direction or something.
Yeah, the healthiest people I've tested have tons of metals coming out. Like I've tested Dr. Joe Mercola. I've worked on it with Ben Greenfield, with Donna Gates, a lot of different people. And the healthiest people have the most metals coming out because all their detox pathways are working. So they're excreting them. And people with no metals, their detoxification systems are not functioning very well. And they're the ones that are in trouble that need to do it.
Yeah, it's funny that you actually mentioned that because that was one of the articles I was talking about is they injected 1,200 micrograms of aluminum and they didn't find it in the blood or the urine. So they said, oh, it's not a problem. And it's like, like, are you insane right now?
Brilliant.
Like, how is that not a problem?
Exactly.
Yeah, so I'm really excited about, you know, what we're going to be doing with the Heavy Metal Summit, just trying to bring a lot of exposure to that.
Yes. Yeah, and so, if you guys want to join me on the Heavy Metal Summit, you can click the link above. It's absolutely free. We wanted to provide all this information to everyone for free. It starts January 29th, and it goes until February 5th. And we have 40 different speakers, experts from around the world, talking about heavy metals and how to detox them, the best supplements, the most cutting edge detox protocols. We have a whole day devoted to how to detox bioenergetically using different bioenergetic protocols to detox, which I found works great for people. It really dramatically increases one's ability to detox, and especially for very ill people. You know, they may not even be able to take supplements. What do you do with them? Bioenergetics is perfect for that population or people that are very, very ill. So lots of really, really interesting topics and speakers like Dr. Joe Mercola, Dr. Chris Shade. We have Dr. Suzanne Bennett. We have lots of really amazing speakers at Seigler G. So many amazing people talking about this really important subject.
Is Winner going to be on it too?
She is trying to be on it.
Yeah, nice.
She wants her little 15 minutes.
Maybe next time, No, so this is any other final questions or anything? We just kind of wanted to have a quick chat, I know. And of course, you know, you have a lot of important stuff to do at home. You know, nothing beats a sick kid, so you have to tend to that. But
she's getting better. She just had the flu.
Yeah. So you know what? Everybody gets sick, but we're just designed to get over it. So her immune system's learning. That's the way I phrase it. So it's you know, not great that they're not feeling good, but we can't have these kids growing up in a bubble and then magically we expect their immune system to just be strong enough to deal with life or something like that.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, thank you so much for having me on and doing this interview with me. And I know that your audience really would love, I know your audience is very hungry. I'm on the page myself quite a bit, seeing Dr. Patel's posts, and I know that they'll really enjoy the information we have on the summit.
Yeah, and Sachin's asking if testing can be done remotely. Absolutely.
Yes.
Because, you know, it's urine and hair, so it's very non-invasive. I try not to do blood, especially for kids. I just don't like to have them like get more needles stuck in their arms if at all possible. But yeah, we do things remotely. I know we see patients overseas, and that can sometimes be the tricky part, is getting like a sample back to the lab. So sometimes there's logistical issues, but for the most part, all the states are the same except New York, basically.
Yeah, I don't know why. I know in New York, they have all the pharmaceutical companies there, so they don't allow functional medical testing. Isn't that convenient?
Yeah, but I have a lot of patients whose friends and sisters live in Connecticut or New Jersey, so they just go do the testing over there, run it, and then no harm, no foul type thing. So
yeah, where there's a will, there's a way, right?
Yeah, absolutely. No, but yeah, so all good questions. I know you got to hop off, but everyone, just register. You're going to learn a lot of great stuff. I guarantee it. And then did you have any parting words or anything, Wendy?
No, well, just join us for the summit. You'll learn something. We've got 5 free talks coming out every single day of the summit. It lasts for 7 days. So just click the link above and you get 5 free registration gifts. There's a book on how to detox the brain, and you get 3 talks to get started right away. You can start listening to the summit immediately as soon as you register. And I hope to see you there.
Awesome. Have a great night, Wendy. Have a great night, everybody. Talk to you all later.
Thank you. Thank you.